Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So in this video, we'll start off with a new subject which is food biotechnology. So in the food biotechnology, we'll study about various aspects of food and its packaging ratios. We'll even study about some of the food items which are mainly involved under food biotechnology. So we'll start off with one of the most essential food item today, which is eggs. So we'll be talking about eggs today and all of its property related to food biotech. So moving to this, so talking about the first and the foremost important part, which is the introduction and what is the formal introduction of what we know is eggs. So the eggs of various birds are consumed throughout the world. However, the discussion that follows is regarding hen's egg. Also, eggs are a natural biological structure with shells offering protection for developing chick embryos, and they have numerous functions in food systems and must be protected against contamination. Also, eggs provide nutritive value and culinary variety to the diet while being an economical source of food. Also, it is considered by the World Health Organization to be the reference protein worldwide to which all other proteins is compared. And a vegetarian diet that includes egg is called a ovo-vegetarian diet, and the quantity and freshness of egg is important to regulate agencies, processors and consumers, and it is determined by a number of factors. Also, the age, temperature, humidity and handling of eggs determine freshness, and egg safety is significant. So these are some of the components of eggs, as you know, as we generally all know about this. So moving on to the interior, what we should also know about this. So talking about the physical structure of eggs and composition of egg. So the whole egg or average egg weighs about 2 ounces or about 57 grams, which includes weight of the yolk, white and the shell. And each component differs in composition. So as you can see, the component composition of different such as water, protein content, fat content and ash. So the protein content remains highest in the egg white. Then comes the egg yolk. Also the water percentage is highest in egg white as well. And then we have the egg yolk. And protein content we talked about. Also the protein fat content remains a bit high or remains the same for the egg white as well as the egg yolk. So we'll talk about in detail about the egg yolk, the inner part and the outer, the egg white. So talking about the yolk first. So as we know, this is the yellow part that is present inside the egg. So it's a cluster of developing yolks, each within its own sac, and it is present in the egg's ovary. And egg yolk comprises approximately about 31% of the total weight of an egg, and all of the egg's cholesterol and almost all of the fat. So it mainly contains the fat and all of the fatty acid stuff and not much of protein. Also generally it has higher nutrient density than the white, containing all the vitamins known except vitamin C. And additionally yolk supply flavor and mouthfeel that consumers find acceptable, and they have many culinary uses. Also egg yolk contains all three lipids, which is triglycerides, fats, oils, phospholipids and sterols in large spheres, granules and micelles. Also the primary phospholipid, which is phosphatidyl choline or lecthin, the most well-known sterol, cholesterol, is also present in the yolk. So all the phospholipids and the most common sterol, everything is present along with fats and oils will be found in the yolk. So talking about the protein that is present in the yolk. So the protein in the yolk is primarily vitelline, which is present in a lipoprotein complex, which is lipovitelline or lipovitelline. So vitelline is the protein name of that is present in the yolk, that is generally present with the lipoprotein complex that we collectively known as lipovitelline or lipovitelline. Also the phosphorus containing phosphatin and sulfur containing livetin also are present in the yolk. So the phosphor containing phosphatin is present, also the sulfur containing livetin is present in the yolk. And the yolk color is mainly decided by the presence of xanthophyll and also carotene and lycopene from the animal feed such as green plants and yellow corns that the hen eats. So the content is mainly dependent on the xanthophyll, carotene and lycopene content in the food that hens eat that gives the pigmentation or coloration to the yolk. Also, also if the yolk has higher carotenoid content, they are darker. And however, chickens producing eggs with pale yolks may be fed supplements that darken the yolk. So that all depends on the feed that we provide to the hens so that the color comes out well. Also, the concentric rings of slightly different colors appear in the yolk, beginning in the center with a very small white spot. So these may differ with eggs to eggs, but generally found there are concentric circles found may be found in the yolk. So moving to that, so there is a higher concentration of solids in the yolk than in the whites, and thus water movement in the yolk occurs as the hen ages. Also, this causes the egg yolk to enlarge and become less viscous. Also, surrounding the yolk is a colorless sac, which is the vital membrane, which covers the or which demarcates the yolk from the egg white. Alright. Also, this is a continuous with the opaque colored chalazi cord structure. So this is a chalazi is a cord structure as a rope-like cord that attaches the yolk white line membrane with the egg white. So chalazi cord is the cord that attaches the yolk that is present inside the egg with the egg white that is outside the yolk. This in between there is a cord present that joins the two. All right, and whereas the egg yolk only. So let's just see, take this is the egg yolk. So egg yolk is surrounded by vitelline membrane. So this is a different membrane that is present in the egg yolk itself, which surrounds the boundary of yolk, and outside we have the chalazi cord which joins the egg white with the yolk. Also, it holds the yolk in place at the center of the egg, preventing it from damaging effects of hitting the shell. So chalazi cord plays an important role in maintaining stability inside so that it does not get damaged when it hits the surface. So moving on with this. So as you can see, this is a perfect picture of a egg. As you can see, all of the internal structures are visible from here. So this is the egg yolk part, as you can see. So you can see the vitelline membrane. So vitelline membrane is the outside. This is the line which marks the yolk. This circle is the yolk, and this line is the vitelline membrane which covers the yolk or makes the yolk visible. And chalazi cord, as you can see, these are chalazi cord present on both sides. So these are chalazi cord which joins the white with the yolk. Outside is the shell, outside is the eggshell, and in between the eggshell, the outside eggshell and this surface, we have a air cell or a air sac. So that is the space generally the eggs have when we boil it, or this is the place where the gases exchange takes place, and this is the place where we generally may find carbon dioxide and moisture present, which gets replaced with oxygen with time as the egg ages. So we'll talk about it more in detail. So moving on. So talking about the white part. So the egg white, also known as albumin, comprises approximately about 58% of the weight of the egg. So this is a slightly heavier part, or comprises the maximum part of an egg. And as with the egg, the white consists of concentric layers as well. And there are four. So there are four layers, which are two thick whites separated by inner and outer thin whites. So there are two thick whites separated by thin inner and outer thin whites. And in the lower grades or older eggs, the thick albumin becomes indistinguishable from the thin white. So this is not very much noticeable when the egg ages or when the egg is kept for a long period of time. So that all becomes one, and we cannot demarcate between the others. Also, the chalazi is located within these layers of the albumin, and it is continuous with the vitelline membrane that surrounds the yolk. So chalazi cord is present in the egg white, not in the yolk. So it is the part that is present in the egg white which connects with the vitelline membrane of the yolk. Also, a fresh egg has more prominent chalazi than older eggs. Yes, this is very much true. So we will find everything in a fresh egg. We'll find a prominent chalazi cord. We'll get to see the clear concentric layers for both the egg whites and the yolk, and that does not happen when the egg ages. So talking more about the white, so the egg contains a high biological value protein, which is a complete protein with all of the essential amino acids in a balanced well proportion. Also, over half of the protein in whites is oval albumin. So oval albumin is the protein that is present in the white, along with we have corn albumin, ovomucin, and globulins, which includes the lysozyme, which is able to lyse some bacteria and contributes lesser percentages of protein in the egg whites. So the main protein that is present in the egg white is the ovalbumin. It's not oval albumin, it's ovalbumin. Pardon for that. So next we have is the whites provide more proteins than the yolk and are often cooked and eaten alone or incorporated into the recipe. And the addition of egg whites in place of the entire egg adds protein while limiting fats and cholesterol. So this is a very good feature of egg whites. So egg whites do not contain the phospholipids, triglyceride oils, whereas it mainly contains proteins, just proteins. So generally, those who are fitness freak, those who are in the fitness industry, so generally prefer to just have the white part of the egg, leaving the yellow part. Also, avidin is another egg white protein that might be present in some eggs, and if consumed raw, the avidin binds with the vitamin biotin and renders biotin ineffective when consumed. So this is just a point for you can just note. This is not very important, but these are some of the avidin is another egg white protein. So if we consume it, the vitamin that is present inside the body, which is biotin, becomes useless or becomes ineffective when consumed. So next we have is the egg white protein attach themselves to the yolk as it descends down the oviduct of the hen, and other constituents of the white are negligible amount of fat, the vitamins riboflavin, so which imparts a greenish tint to the white, niacin and biotin minerals including magnesium and potassium. So it does not contain fat or very limited amount of fat, and it contains vitamin which is riboflavin, which imparts a greenish tint to the white. So it provides slight greenish tint to the white, a color. So the vitamin riboflavin provides that color. Along with that, we have minerals including magnesium and potassium. So next we talk about the shell. So shell contributes the remaining 10% of the whole egg, and the dry shell contains mainly calcium carbonate, which forms up 94%, and others we have magnesium, calcium, and organic phosphates. Also, the layers of the shell consist of mammillary or inner layer or spongy layer and the outer cuticle. So as you can see, so a shell is divided into three components, as you can see. So the first component is the inner layer. So then we have the spongy layer, and then is the hard upper cuticle layer. So let's just keep this video till here. I'll be discussing more of this in my next video starting from here. So stay tuned and thank you for watching this video.